Once again, my name is Mallory, and today I'm going to be talking about social exchange theory. So I really enjoyed reading this theory and studying it because it deals with coming across conflict and then looking at the rewards and the costs of the relationship you have with the person that you're having conflict with, and deciding whether or not you want to continue with that relationship or just terminate it altogether. So the example that I'm going to be talking about goes off of the conflict that I discussed in the homework assignment that we had due. So I'm a member of Greek Life here at YSU, and each chapter in Greek Life has a set of bylaws that their chapter comes up with that they feel are beneficial to the chapter, and the rules that the chapter, of course, has to follow because they're rules. So my friend Jane, I had an altercation with her last spring. I came through with her in fall of 2011 through our sorority Alpha Psi Delta, and last spring of 2012, we had an altercation, and I looked at our friendship and I decided that I was going to terminate it because it was a situation that dealt with losing a lot of trust. And over the summer, I tried to cool off and just kind of focus on myself, focus on school, stuff like that. And then in the fall, she was asking other members of our chapter, if she was gonna if I was gonna give her a second chance. And ultimately, I decided to give her a second chance because she was my friend and I missed her, and I decided that I would give her another chance. So all throughout fall, we were fine, we were good friends, and things seemed to be going well. And then at the end of fall, I began dating a guy who's also in Greek Life and who's currently my boyfriend. And when we came back in the spring, I began hanging out at his fraternity house, SAE, also known as Sigma Alpha Epsilon. And one of the bylaws that we have is that you are not permitted to stay the night at a fraternity house if you're dating a brother unless you've been seeing them officially for 2 weeks. And by officially, they mean Facebook official, unfortunately. So one night I was at the house, and my boyfriend and I were watching a movie on his Netflix account in his room, and we both ended up falling asleep. And the next morning, my friend Jane came over to my apartment, and I live with one of my really good friends who's also in chapter, and I wasn't back yet, and she found out that I had stayed at the house, and in her mind, without knowing the whole story, she just realized I broke a rule, and then she turned me into our executive board. So when I found this out, I confronted her calmly about it, and I discussed it with her. And then afterwards, I kind of looked at our rewards and our costs, and I ultimately decided once again that I was going to completely terminate the friendship that we had. After I heard about this incident with her turning me in, I made a list of the rewards and the cons, and although there were more awards than costs, I felt that the costs seemed to outweigh the rewards, and in my mind, giving her 2 chances and both times losing a lot of trust I had in her, I ultimately felt like I didn't want to give her a third chance, and she didn't ultimately deserve a third chance. So I just terminated our friendship altogether. So my advice for people who are dealing with this theory, with conflict, is calmly approach the situation, and then afterwards make a list of rewards and costs. And if you feel that your rewards outweigh the costs, then keep that relationship you have with the person. If they don't outweigh the costs, then I would suggest to terminate the relationship. But I wouldn't look at if there was more rewards or costs, just because sometimes even if there's less rewards than costs, then sometimes, those things outweigh the other, so it could ultimately decide whether you'd want to keep the relationship or terminate the relationship. So that is my personal experience with social exchange theory.